The VO Meter, measuring your voiceover progress. Whether you're a veteran voice actor, just starting out, or don't even know how to set a level, we're here to help you avoid the pitfalls along your voiceover path to success. The VO Meter is brought to you by Global Voice Acting Academy, JMC Demos, Web Interactive Technologies, Bodalgo.com, award-winning online casting, Roswell Pro Audio, and Vocal Booth to Go. The VO Meter is produced in part using Source Connect, made by source-elements.com. And now, your hosts, Paul Stefano and Sean Daly.
Hi, everybody, and welcome to episode 130 of the VO Meter.
Measuring your voice-over progress. It's been a long break, unfortunately. Sorry about that. We've actually had several episodes in the can. This is one of them. We interviewed Kasey Hott, who will be our featured guest, just after the Read Awards ended, and she and I were the co-hosts back in March. So we've been sitting on this for a while. We've just had personal things come up, a lot of other interviews, actually, people requesting interviews. That's been good. But you'll hear from Kasey and all she has to say about the Read Awards coming up in a little bit.
All right, but before that, it's time for our VO Meter reference levels.
The VO Meter reference levels. Seriously, guys, that's the best you could come up with? Hey, it's your show.
Cool. So I don't have much to talk about, unfortunately, and I can talk about how much that sucks, but why don't you start? Because I know you have some positive things to talk about.
Sure. So it's funny because it's like we said, we took a long hiatus and we just, both of us been busy with like work and I've had some personal things, unfortunately. Both of my parents are dealing with some medical stuff, which is taking up my time for the next several months. But some positive things, I think I mentioned it before, but I'm working on a big project with my wife, doing some animated characters. It's kind of the most intense project that she's done as an actor and I've done as an audio engineer, but it's cool and it's really nice that we get to work together on it. Aside from that, I just did a directed session for a fantasy video game where I got to play like 50 random students and fantasy creatures. It was funny because they just gave me like this like script with like 70 incidental lines and they're like, oh yeah, just go through your repertoire and all that. So I was like, oh, welcome to the school, welcome to the school, welcome to the school, like, you know, some like things like that. And by the end they're like, oh, that was really fun to listen to. So I think they were happy with what I did. Other than that, just knocking out a bunch of auditions or from my agents, from social media, from all of my various resources. I'm also going to be a guest speaker at the One Voice conference coming up in August.
Oh, cool.
I'm working my way up, but I'll be doing a live presentation of my VO for Newbies webinar, which, like the title says, it's like if you're completely new to voiceover, this is the presentation for you. I was also surprised to see that I was elected to be on the narration panel. There's Money in the Middle, talking about non-broadcast narration. I have some wonderful co-panelists on there that I'm very excited to be a part of. But other than that, I'm looking forward to just being at One Voice again and reconnecting with all of the guests, all of our GVA members who are in attendance, and all of our coaches who are there as well. So, and I'm looking forward to seeing Sam Riegel in person. We got to do a webinar with him about a year ago. And I want to just be like, hey, thank you so much for helping GVA out and also for signing my wife's book. So it should be a lot of fun. But other than that, just been trying to, just nose to the grindstone, like trying to balance work and life, even though life is crazy right now.
Yeah, I hear you. That's cool on One Voice, though. I was a presenter there last year. I didn't necessarily apply this year. I guess I did apply to VO Atlanta, and this is what happened last year. I applied for VO Atlanta speakership, and they said, no thanks, but come to One Voice. That did not happen this year. I'm not that upset about it. I mean, I had a great time, and I'm sure you will as well, and people will definitely glean some information from your seminars, but I also kind of think every year is too much, so I'm not that upset about it. And
my challenge this year is because I was reviewing... because I've done iterations of this presentation before, but they came up to almost 2 hours. So I'm like, I got to be a lot more concise.
Oh, yeah. So, how long is your talk?
I think they're just 50 minutes during
the regular
the general sessions.
Yeah. That is true. It's an odd number, but it does it does stick in your mind. Like I always know it's 5-0. So yeah, you're right.
Mm-hmm.
Well,
Yeah,
that'd be
it's
cool.
like I actually went to school where that was kind of the schedule, and it was just like, oh, I have 10 minutes for for transitions and all that stuff. But
Okay, well, cool. Well, speaking of stuff going on, I've been kind of busy with personal stuff as well. One of the other reasons I also cannot go to One Voice is because it's the same weekend or leading into the weekend I have to drop off my son at college. So I have a son who just graduated
nice.
high school, and that took up a lot of my time over the last couple of months. He had his prom and his graduation ceremony and final activity ceremonies and this assembly where they showed a video of all the families saying goodbye. So there's all that stuff going on. And then he starts college in LA in the fall. So that'll be pretty cool. Loyola Marymount University. And he's pretty psyched about that. So we have to figure out a way to get him out there with all this stuff. And looks like we might be
Road trip.
Yeah, at least some of us might be driving. He wants to he and his sister want to go together across country by themselves. And we think that's both a terrible idea and also a good one. A terrible idea because they like to fight. And neither of them is very old. My daughter turns 21 Friday. So, I mean, she is an adult, and he's an 18-year-old adult, so it can be done. But also, we don't have to do that. So I don't necessarily want to drive
I
all
don't
the way
even
across
have
the
kids, and
country.
that makes me nervous. So
Yeah,
it's just like,
that's true. So if that works out, that'll be cool. But it also runs into the weekend of One Voice, so I'll be flying out there at the very least. And then my other son graduated 8th grade. He's about to become a freshman in high school. So that took up a lot of time because they have all the same ceremonies for 8th graders, which is kind of crazy. It's not quite as involved, but they do like a commencement, and there's assemblies and final concerts. All that stuff was taking up time over the last couple of weeks as well. And then I did start a few work things. So I've completed like 4 audiobooks since last time we talked with Twin Flame Studios.
wow.
Those will
nicely
be
done.
out in the next couple of weeks. Most of them are in the process of being approved by the distribution partners, either Audible or wherever they're being put out. So those should be out soon. And I completed 2 narrating. Yeah, I can speak for a living. I completed 2 books that I narrated on ACX. They're both royalty share. One is about to be released, and one came out. I was just looking at the sales or lack thereof on April 29th. And so far has 0 sales, so that's going well. If you are so inclined, go look up the book called Hollywood Psycho. I think I talked about recording this the last time we had an episode, but that is out now. And I could use some money, so go buy it, please. We'll see how that goes. And then, have you heard about the new royalty agreement with ACX?
A little bit. Can you go into it?
So ACX and Audible rolled out an entirely new platform for royalty share agreements, and pretty much every book I've ever done opted into it. I don't know if it's because of marketing or because they really think it's cool, but pretty much, like I said, every author I've worked with has opted in. And the key features are a new rate. So creators can earn 50% more royalty rates for exclusive distribution, and now it's 30% on non-exclusive. It used to be 40, so they get a 10% bump. There's an all-you-can-listen catalog they can enroll into, and that's what most of these people are doing. So the users on Audible can select this as a plan and then listen to as much as they want for a flat fee instead of buying the books. And in that model, the royalties are calculated by this thing called equal member value. And it's a bit nebulous, but according to their website, member value is what's new in the updated royalty model. It represents the value of a member's listening behavior. To determine member value, we look at which plan a member is subscribed to in a given marketplace and capture the monthly membership revenue minus taxes and fees. This amount is member value at the most basic level, and it's basically calculating how much they listen to give sales to the narrators who have the books on Audible. I don't understand it completely. Obviously, I'm reading their frequently asked questions, still don't get it. But we'll figure out how it fleshes out soon, because it just started on May 26th, and I got a million emails that day and the days following saying that your author has enrolled, your author has enrolled. So it seems to be quite popular, and it remains to be seen how exactly it plays out for me or other narrators who have books out. But I'm anxious to see if it's better or worse, and I will let you know once I hear.
All right,
So
fingers
that's
crossed. Might have to dive back into that will.
yeah. So that's the audiobook front. And then the bulk of my time is still being done with live announcing. I did one more Nationals game for Major League Baseball last Wednesday against the Kansas City Royals. That was fun. And I started working for a college professional league team called the Bethesda Big Train. Now, you may have seen this on social media. We've had about half the season so far. It's a short season. It runs from the end of May, Memorial Day, until the end of July. So we had about half the games so far. There's supposed to be one I was going to leave for right now, but we got rained out. That's how baseball works when you're in an outdoor stadium. But this has been fun because it's players. First of all, it's a professional league, so they pay me, which is always nice. And it's at a small park in a community outside Washington, D.C. called Bethesda. Probably people have heard of that town, mostly because it's where the Walter Reed Medical Hospital is for the military, where the president's been going quite a bit. So it's in Bethesda, right around the corner from Walter Reed. And it's this awesome park that I didn't even know was there. And it's about 45 minutes from me, so it's not hard to get to. But it's a professional atmosphere. They have concessions and live music and a full production team, just like the Nationals that I work for. And I'm the announcer. And they've had some cool things going on, like former players coming to throw out first pitches. On Juneteenth, last Friday, they had former players from the Negro Leagues. One gentleman who was 101 years old who played for the Negro Leagues who threw out the first pitch, and that was cool. And I got to meet a former Philadelphia Philly, a gentleman named Milt Thompson, who was one of my idols when I was a kid as a fan. Even though it's funny, I looked at him now, and we're basically the same age. So he's probably 60, but when he was a 19 or 20-year-old rookie and I was 8, that seemed like all the difference in the world. Like he was an old man. But now I see him and it's like, oh, you're the same age as me. So that was fun to meet him. And then finally, because this league is all college players or rising seniors from high school who are about to enter college, I've actually run into quite a few kids I know. So kids that are friends of my son, like I just mentioned, he's a graduating senior. I've met 3 kids, or not met, I know them already, 3 kids from our neighborhood that are playing for one of the rival teams that I coached in basketball, soccer, and baseball. So that was fun to reconnect with them, and they actually remembered me. So it was cool to see them get on the field and earn some money and play professionally. So that's been fun too. And that unfortunately wraps up most of my activities. I want to talk about just how freaking terrible it's been and see if I can get any confirmation from you on how it's been. I mean, obviously you're doing some things, but as far as the pay-to-plays, I'm curious if you're getting any traction on those. I know we're both back on Bidalgo right now. I've been there for a year.
That's actually where I got the video game, and
oh, great!
I'm actually, yeah, and I did get a couple of corporate narrations from that, but I don't think it's been more than like one a month. And actually, I'm kind of tracking down one of them because it's been like 6 months since like I sent them the invoice. So with a few follow-ups, but I do feel your point. Like, and I've heard people mentioning similar struggles on the other online casting sites. And it's funny. It's like, I feel like I'm working more, but like with inflation, it doesn't feel like it's evening out, you know?
Oh, yeah.
But yeah, like I know a lot of people have like been complaining about dry spells and things like that. Usually that's common for summer because I mean people are on vacation or but also like it can be a busy time for people who are preparing for like the Halloween commercial cycle, some political cycles as well. So I guess
going
it just
back now
depends
though. Like we're talking about the summer, yeah, that's generally a slow time, but I've been on Bidalgo now for over a year since they came back on as a sponsor. Haven't booked a thing. I've been on Voice 123 and Voices since January 1st. Haven't booked a thing. I've only even been shortlisted twice on one of them. So, I mean, I've never had great luck on pay to plays, so it's not that surprising. But I've never been this dry either, with not even a sniff of a job or shortlisting. So that's a little scary in my mind.
Yeah, I wonder if it's just like if they've just reached a high saturation point or I don't know. We've been doing this too long, Paul. Our sound is dated. But like
It certainly could be that, yeah. But anyway, I just want to bring it up because I'm sure there's other people who are feeling that pain too. I've seen lots of people on social media getting out of the business recently, selling their booths, selling their equipment.
Selling booths, selling gear.
And yeah, I can't say I haven't thought about it either. Just, I mean, it's that bad that it's crossed my mind. I still love what I do, but it's definitely crossed my mind that I'm spinning my wheels for nothing except for this podcast. Hopefully people are appreciating.
Indeed. All of our unpaid hours. But yeah, it's tough. I've seen a lot of people I wasn't expecting to, like both in the membership and outside of it. Like you said, people selling their gear or their booths. And it's a lot of things. I know AI has disrupted a lot of the entry level work and a lot of the like the bread and butter work, like as far as like e-learning narration, telephony. Luckily, my clients haven't left me yet. Like, so
That's always good.
I'm still, yeah, I still do predominantly like narration, non-broadcast stuff. And I still have my current clients, which is great. So I'm either easy to work with or hopefully I'm not too cheap. So yeah, it's just a confluence of factors, I think. And I think the general zeitgeist is finally getting the memo that like voice acting is really hard. It's not.
Yeah.
And most people are finally understanding that it's like full-time career is never guaranteed. Most people are doing this part-time. And it's a lot. I mean, and the fact that like the economy is really bad right now too, people are more risk averse, right? I'm noticing people aren't paying for the training, or just like they're not pursuing it in general because they just feel like it's not worth the investment.
Yeah, it's scary times for sure. I do have one more positive thing that I actually forgot to mention. Should have started with this, but I am
well, balance it out.
I am definitely a glass half full kind of guy most of the time. But anyway, I got a new agent in the last couple of months.
Nice.
I reached out to a lot. I won't lie. I when I got that new demo from J. Michael Collins, the promo demo, which I was pretty proud of, I started sending it everywhere. And I heard back from Heyman Talent Agency, who has offices in Cincinnati, Louisville, and Indiana. And they signed me on. So I'm officially a member of Heyman Talent now. Technically the Cincinnati office, but I can work out of any of them. So go to their website, listen to my demos if you want to, and hopefully we'll get some traction out of there.
Indeed. Fingers crossed. So that wraps up our whiny bitch fest. I mean, our VO reference levels. Coming up next is our
questionable gear purchase.
So I don't have anything VO related, but I do have a cool personal and not questionable at all gear purchase. I got a new to me car. It's a used electric car, fully electric Hyundai Ioniq. It's a 2020. I got it with 56,000 miles on it. And it's been really cool so far.
Sweet. Looks nice. I dig it.
So I don't know if anyone else has looked into or tried to get into the fully electric car thing. I always wanted to. Ever since it was a possibility, I really wanted to because of my love for protecting the environment and trying not to increase fossil fuel usage and then just being cheap. But once these gas prices got completely out of control, I thought it was a good time to jump on it. So I bought it. It's been a month now. So I got it right at the height of the crazy gas prices around here. It was like $4.50, almost $5 per gallon. And this has been a godsend.
Still that here, but
yeah, we're closer to like 4 now, which is not great. So I'm loving the ability to plug the car in. I got a charger installed at home, and I'm able to plug it in at night, drive almost anywhere I need to go. I as people know, I spend a lot of time driving between Baltimore and Washington, which is usually about 60 miles, sometimes 70 if I'm going to the outskirts of the Beltway. So this car can max out at about 180 miles on a round trip charge. So most times I can get to it wherever I need to go. And I have found that there's chargers almost everywhere. I can use the Tesla network, which is pretty big, and I can use a lot of other independent chargers. And there happens to be one in the community park I was talking about for the Bethesda Big Train baseball team. So even if I run out on the way there, I can plug in, and it's so cheap. Like this one at the park is subsidized by the local power company. So I filled up the car last time for, I think it was $5.64 to get 200 miles of range out of it, which is just insane. And I smile every time I do it. I do have a cautionary tale, though. I did run out of gas. I'm doing my finger quotes. I did run out of power last week. I drove to York, Pennsylvania, which is about 50 miles north of me on the way to Harrisburg, the capital of Pennsylvania. I was buying something on Facebook Marketplace. So I drove up there. I didn't charge the car beforehand. It said it was like 50%. So I thought, okay, that's fine. It's like 70 miles. I should be able to get there and back. But once I got there, and I didn't account for using air conditioning, so a lot of things can affect your range in an electric vehicle. And if you ever had an electric bike, it's the same thing. The faster you go, the more battery you use. If you're using air conditioning, it'll suck up more battery. If you're using the radio, charging your phone, like using a USB port or wireless charging, which this car has, it'll take a battery. So I did start to run out of battery I didn't have enough to get back. I knew that. So I started looking for a charger, and the car on board has this search tool. It has like built-in navigation. You can click on it. It'll say, here's the closest charger. There's also several apps. Tesla has their own app, and there's a couple other companies that run chargers, so you can look on the app. But I found out they're not always accurate. So there was one that the app said there was a charger at McDonald's, which I know sometimes that they have around here. So I went to McDonald's, and they had removed it. Either McDonald's or the company decided it wasn't worth it, so that it was gone. So then I'm down to like 10 miles of range before I'm going to run out. I see there's a Hyundai dealership right next door. I go in there and say, hey, I have this Hyundai. I didn't buy it here. Could I use your charger? I'm desperate. I'm from Baltimore. I'm stuck here. And they said, no, we can't help you. Go to hell, basically. So I will not be recommending that dealership if anyone wants to buy a car in Pennsylvania. I do have a lot of relatives in Pennsylvania, by the way, so they're not getting any of our business. So then I got back in my car, and I see there's a Tesla charger at a convenience store, like a 7-Eleven. Here it's called Sheetz, this one that's there. So I go there, and this particular Tesla charger I'm not allowed to use because the way the agreements work, there are certain ones that only Tesla cars can use, other ones where non-Tesla cars are able to go, which I had done at home. I'd gone to this other convenience store called a Wawa. My Philly people will know what I'm talking about. I went there and charged up with a Tesla charger, but this particular one doesn't work. So now I'm in the parking lot with a completely dead battery. I pulled into this charger because I thought it was my last chance, and it turned out it was. The car is completely dead, like a paperweight. So I have no way to move the car, no way to charge it, and I'm stuck 50 miles away from home. So my only solution, I went inside and asked if I could use the regular 110-volt outlet that I saw was on a pole outside the drive-thru area of the convenience store. And they said, sure, no problem. The only problem is the car's dead. So I had to ask the gas station convenience store employee to help me push the car. So he came out, and then by the way, this is the cool part of the story is the community of electric vehicle people was really nice. A guy who's sitting in his Tesla jumps out and says, hey, you need some help? I'll help you. So this guy, the employee and this random Tesla owner helped push my car to the side of the store where this outlet was. And I'm just driving it. And I plugged into the regular outlet with this portable charger they give you in the car. The problem is it's 110 volts, and it takes an hour to get 1% of battery charge. So I had to sit there for 4 hours to get up to 4% battery to where I could drive enough mileage to get to a charger that I could use. And that's what I did. So after sitting for 4 hours, I white-knuckled it down the highway to the next town where there was a charger I could use. Again, rolled in, car completely dead. I was able to just coast into the spot at the Tesla charger and charge up. Ugh. And finally got it done. One more thing. Another nice gentleman in the Cybertruck. So you may have heard some complaints about, either Bitcoin bros or obnoxious people driving Cybertrucks. I think that probably is the case sometimes. But there was a Cybertruck in this convenience store with a elderly couple, probably not much older than me, but definitely a little bit older. And this guy jumped out also and offered to help. And he said that the Cybertruck can reverse charge another car. So it's almost like having an outlet. And he tried. He took his cord out, plugged it into his truck, and then plugged it into my car. I think because I killed the battery completely, it wasn't working. It was like not communicating. But that was really cool, too, to see another just random person willing to help out. And it made me feel good that generosity isn't completely dead in America, at least in the heartland of Pennsylvania. So that's my bad experience with electric car. So I learned my lesson quickly that don't let it die. Don't let it get down to like 10 or 12% without knowing where you're going, because that can be a problem. But other than that, car's been great. I spent almost no money on gas, and it's been fun.
That's awesome. As someone who tends to forget what shirt he's wearing, I don't know if I can do an electric car just yet. But
Definitely takes some
that's
pre-planning.
So, but that is a great story. I always love hearing like unexpected gestures of humanity.
Yeah, it was nice. And sitting at this place and watching, just sort of people watching the goings on was interesting. So there was the people helping. I also saw several drug deals. That was fun. And some crackhead came out from behind the building who was doing drugs and just started talking to me about baseball, which was interesting. So that was fun to just people watch while I was sitting there for 4 hours.
But...
Oh, funny experience. So do you have any questionable gear purchases, either VO related or not?
Not yet, but I probably will soon. Like I've been adding stuff to the cart. Like I just mainly like office ergonomic upgrades. Like I need to get a headrest for my chair. My Logitech mouse is like the left click is not working, which is like the most prominently used clicker. So I'm probably going to get the new version, like the Logitech XMS4, I think it is. Luckily, we have a Best Buy nearby, so I can see if they have any like refurbished ones or maybe even trade in the old one for a discount. So have that, and I need a new, what is it, like a office floor mat. So pretty much everything at the desk itself could use an upgrade. But VO-wise, like, no, just still loving my mics, still loving my interfaces. Like, it's all serving me well. And if anything, this current project kind of got me to appreciate like the level of production we're doing. It's basically using all of my pieces of gear. Like Ray's using the iPad for scripts in the booth. I'm using my laptop next to my PC so I can follow along on the script. And it made me realize, like, I've had my MacBook Air, like the M1, for like 6 years now. And when I got it, I got higher memory, 16 gigs, and more storage, 1 terabyte, than the default, which is like 8 gigs and 256 respectively. Mm-hmm. So I've been tempted to upgrade multiple times, but it's become such an integral part of my workflow right now. And it's still lightning fast. So it's like, as much as I would love some of like what I would love is a 15-inch version, because my eyes are getting a little strainy, especially when I'm doing work on larger web pages and stuff like that. But it really kind of tempered my patience, or to upgrade, basically, because it's like, I could use this thing for 4 more years. And with the way that like RAM prices are right now, like, I don't know, I'm torn, because it's like there are great deals right now. There's a lot of fear mongering going on that Apple can't maintain these current prices for much longer because of the cost of computer components. But also, I wonder, like, even if I don't buy anything for a couple of years, I could still go used refurbished and get something relatively new, you know?
Yeah. I've had a similar experience recently, actually. I bought a Microsoft Surface about 6 months ago. I wasn't really using it that much because I was only using it for reading audiobooks, which I mentioned I haven't had a lot of recently. But I started using it for the announcing. So instead of using paper for all the lineups for the baseball team, I used the Surface, and it took a lot of pre-planning, so I got some help from a fellow announcer in Kansas City named Jared Spencer. I put out a note on the announcing Facebook group saying, hey, I need a spreadsheet that'll help me track lineups. Does anybody have something sort of pre-made that I could maybe adjust and not have to start from scratch? So he sent me his spreadsheet, and it was just what I needed. It was like a bunch of pivot tables already established, and all I had to do was change the data. So now I just put the player, I had to take all the teams that I work with ahead of time and input them into the tables. But once I do that, then it's to drop down to select who's batting first, who's batting second, and it's made my life so much easier. So I take the Surface with me now every day back and forth to the baseball stadium, and I'm getting much more use out of that than I was before. I was just sitting in the booth not doing anything because I have no scripts to read. So this has been really helpful to make use of equipment, just like you were saying, that I already had, and it's been sort of eye-opening that I can do it that way.
Mm-hmm. Now, it kind of makes me nostalgic for like the beginning of our VO journey, you know, where it's like, it's all like necessity is the mother of invention, and we're like really trying to take advantage of what resources you already have before you just try and get a Shopamine high, you know?
Yeah, it's smart for sure.
So that wraps up our questionable gear purchases. We'll be right back with our interview with Kasey Hott after these messages.
Walgreens. Because it's flu season, and you live in a place with doorknobs and handrails and, people.
We tried booking a vacation rental on one of those other websites. They don't always tell you everything.
The stars take it to the red carpet.
We are back live from the red carpet.
California leads the way for change in America, and so does Kamala Harris.
Rated M for mature. Claire Redfield.
And who exactly are you?
So, yeah, what hashtag should I use to describe a grown man in a tuxedo wrestling a goat?
And prior to 1933, many of them belonged to a variety of political parties that were now outlawed in Germany.
This is the story of how Q got curly. Quinn was crazy about curls. Curly fries, curly straws, curly-haired dogs.
Hey, J. Michael here. Thanks for listening to the VO Meter podcast. It's one of my favorites. If you're looking for a great demo like the ones you just heard, check out jmcdemos.com for more information.
Come on. Not again.
What's wrong, Paul?
Just trying to update my website, but I just don't have the skills.
Or the time?
Exactly.
Why don't you just contact Web Interactive Technologies? They have over 20 years of experience helping business owners create and maintain a professional website. Each website is unique, and you can maintain full control or let Web Interactive update it for you. Web and Tech treats every website like it was their own, and they have the knowledge and expertise to make sure you get noticed by the search engines.
Because, like they say, you can have a beautiful website, but if nobody can find you, it's pointless. Contact Web Interactive Technologies today at webintech.com. That's WEBINTECH.com. Or call 410-777-8500. Hey, Sean, what's a vocal booth?
It's an acoustically treated space to record voiceover, sing, or practice music.
Okay, so then what's a vocal booth to go? An acoustically treated space to eat a cheeseburger and fries?
No, of course not. Vocal Booth To Go's patented acoustic blankets, noise mitigation products, and portable booths are an effective alternative to expensive soundproofing. They're often used by vocal and voiceover professionals, engineers, and studios as an affordable soundproofing and absorption solution.
And now, check out the new Fab, the folding acoustic vocal booth, also known as the Highlander. It's an easy-to-set-up and carry with you travel solution for recording great voiceovers on the go. Check them out at vocalbooth2go.com.
Hi, everybody, and thank you for joining us for the interview portion of this episode. Our guest today is Kasey Hott. Kasey is a former TV news anchor turned full-time voice actor who traded breaking news for bringing scripts to life. With a background in broadcast and a love for storytelling, she now lends her voice to everything from national campaigns to e-learning and corporate narration and has way more fun doing it. So, put your hands and voices together and join us in welcoming Kasey Hott. How's it going, Kasey?
Hey, I'm doing great. Thank you so much. I am happy to be here.
We're happy to have you.
So, first of all, let's get the big elephant out of the room. You and I just both co-hosted the Reed Awards, and I've been talking about this for the last couple of episodes, but let's just wax poetic and talk about how much fun it was. So, what were your thoughts about the conference, and how did you enjoy hosting?
It was awesome. I am really thankful for you for bringing me into that. I would have never done it otherwise, but I just had a great time. It was my first ever Reed Awards, so it was a little intimidating to be hosting the first time you've ever gone, but I had a blast. It was great meeting people, and I really feel like the show went well. Did you think so?
I thought so too, and I'm kind of glass half empty kind of guy, so I always go in expecting the worst, but yeah. Several people told us they thought it went well, including some people that I respect, like I think I talked about on the last episode. J. Michael Collins said he thought it went well, Samit Iyengar thought it went well, and I think they were telling the truth, so that made me feel good. And then a couple of the political consultants too came up to us right afterwards and said, hey, that was great. So yeah, I thought it was really, really fun, and I think we did a good job.
I think so, too. We're just going to choose to believe those people that said good job. Yeah.
You don't sound too traumatized by the event, so I assume it went well.
Yeah, it was a great time. Honestly, better than I expected. And Paul and I had been warned so much. They were like, hey, this is a really hard crowd. Like, people aren't going to be paying attention. Like, you're pretty much just going to be talking to a room full of people that are talking. And there was some of that. But I thought people paid attention and were really respectful, I thought, for the most part.
Yeah, I agree. I mentioned on stage, actually, that the last couple of years, it was pretty bad with people not paying attention. And I actually thanked the crowd halfway through. I stopped halfway through the presentation and said, you know what? I really want to thank you guys for paying attention and not talking the entire time. And I really meant it because it seemed, at least from on stage, maybe it was different in the crowd, but I think they were paying attention more than the last few times. And I credit that to you, Kasey, because it sure as heck wasn't me.
Well,
I don't know.
Reinforce that positive behavior, but
yes, I think it was the joint powers, our joint powers, Paul. That's what we're going to go with.
Yeah, and then just for follow-up, we're hoping to do it next year. So if you're listening, campaigns and elections, we'll be following up shortly, but we'd love to be back. At least I would.
Yes, that would be amazing.
Oh, and next year it's in
fingers
Atlanta.
crossed for you both.
Next year it's actually in Atlanta, so we'll talk about VO Atlanta in a few minutes, but we might end up back-to-back, just staying a whole month in Atlanta if it works out.
Just set up camp there. Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. So, Kasey, tell us how exactly you transitioned from being a news anchor to getting started in voiceover.
Yeah, it's kind of wild. So it was just about 6 years ago exactly that I started. And I honestly, when I first started out, I had no idea what VO was. But I was a news anchor at the time. I was in a small town right then in Charlottesville, Virginia. And I was a news anchor during COVID. And so everything got shut down. Half of us could go into the building, but the other half had to work from home because they were just trying to figure everything out. And so I was doing the news every night from my spare bedroom. Like they set up like a live studio in my apartment. Oh, it was bizarre. And so, but I had a lot of free time because, I would do the shows at night. But during the day, I wasn't, kind of sure what I was going to do. So my friend, who has been a voice actor for a long time, she's amazing. Her name's Sarah Armstrong Brown. And she had gone to college with me, and she had me on a podcast kind of like this. And we were talking about how ridiculous it was that I was like doing the news from my bedroom and how crazy COVID was and stuff. But anyway, after that podcast, she said, hey, you need to look into VO. Like, you have time on your hands. And I was like, okay, well, what is it? And she said, they kind of talked me through it. And she said, here's someone you should call. He's really good. And it was J. Michael.
Of course.
Yeah. And so I just kind of got like thrown into it. I bought a crappy microphone. I had a Blue Yeti on the floor of my closet, had no idea what I was doing, but it just took off kind of from there. And so it's been amazing. I got really, really lucky that she suggested it because I would have never done it otherwise.
Well, it's going to sound crazy when I ask this question, but you seem to be a natural. I met you pretty early on in that process, I think, at the Mavo conference, and you spoke during one of my sessions, and everybody was like, yeah, she can do this. Like, no problem. Already has a great sound. But what would you say was, coming from TV news, your biggest difficulty in transitioning to VO?
Well, that is very kind of you to say, because it did not feel that natural to me. And I still have a lot that I'm working on. But I think the biggest challenge for me was probably having kind of that like polished news anchor sound, because you're just used to, that's what you have like all the time. And it works for some things, right? Like it works for medical or like, voices of like banks and financial, like stuff where you want that polish. But it's been really hard for me to get rid of it, especially like when it comes to, really conversational commercial reads. And I remember when I first started out, I thought, oh, this is going to be wonderful because I'm just going to tell people, oh, I was a former TV news anchor, and they're going to be so impressed. And I remember the first people I talked to, like agents and stuff that I told that, they said, never tell anyone that again. That is not a good thing. Yes, that is not good. That is working against you. Don't. And I was like, okay. So that's when I really realized, okay, this is kind of like more a hindrance than a help. But I feel like in some ways you got to kind of just like make it work for you. But it has been challenging kind of trying to get more into that conversational vibe, if that makes sense.
No, absolutely. I came from teaching, or actually ESL teaching. So like speaking super slowly and over articulated. And I thought these would all be helpful for me. But I get the exact same feedback from coaches and agents. Like, dirty it up. It's too perfect.
Yep. And it's so hard when it's so ingrained in you, right? It's
absolutely.
I feel like every past career has some sort of hoop you have to jump through. So I came from radio, and I had the same problem with over enunciating and trying to be on all the time and sounded like this really cool radio voice. And that doesn't work very well in most reads either. So I feel like everything you bring to the table, you have to adjust and pivot. And that's just part of the business.
Well, it's not like you have to throw everything away, but it's like we've been saying, like it doesn't, the connections aren't as clear as you think they are, or like the correlations, I mean.
True.
So how exactly did that TV experience help you in your VO career?
I think the big thing it really helped me with is cold reading, which surprisingly in this you kind of have to do a lot. Like you would be surprised how many like big sessions with big names or whatever, and you get the script like right before the session starts. Have you all had that?
Oh yeah.
Yeah, and I feel like that is what helped me so much because I was so used to reading from a teleprompter. I was used to like things changing and like I wouldn't have even had a chance a lot of the time to read before. Actually, the later I got in my career, this probably is not something to be proud of, but I would stop reading before because I would just kind of wanted to practice my cold reading. But I think that helped a lot with kind of like interpreting things on the fly because you had to, if that makes sense. And I think that's really, really come over into VO.
Going with your instincts because you don't have time for anything else.
Right. And sometimes I think that first instinct is the most honest or the most,
Usually,
it's kind of it's the most you. So I think that has been the really big thing that it's helped me with.
Well, I can tell it definitely helps in live announce. You probably picked up on this even last week. So we got for the Read Awards, we got the script less than 24 hours before we had to go on. And that was a little nerve-wracking. But because I think I have experienced some cold reading as well, and Kasey, like you just said, that helped tremendously because we didn't really have many hiccups, thankfully.
No, we got lucky there, but I think it's not luck. You're right. It's just because we have that experience doing it. And it's one of those things, that's the only way to get his experience, which is scary because, that the only way to get more comfortable doing that is to just do it a lot more. But I think once you do it and do it and do it, it kind of just becomes natural.
Yeah, we talked about that last week right before we went on. I was not visibly nervous, but I was looking at my watch that tracks my pulse, and it was at 150. and that is insanely high. It's like I was doing a marathon at the time. But
you should have started a workout.
Yeah. All I was doing was standing there in the behind the curtain in the backstage area waiting to go on. But yeah, like you said, my watch said, "Nice workout." And I said, "Nope, just a stroke."
I'm just
Are you
standing
performing
here
on stage?
You did an awesome job, though. It's so true. You would have never known. And that's another thing, I guess. The more you do it, you just become more comfortable and you know how to hide it.
Yeah, that makes
well,
sense.
in my own experience and talking with guests like you, I mean, the nerves never go away. It's just like your ability to not let them affect your performance negatively, right?
Yeah, or channel them into adrenaline is what I say now. Like I feel the nerves, my watch tells me it's happening, but I just channel into adrenaline as opposed to fright.
Yes. I kind of like that nervous feeling now because I feel like sometimes after a while, like with the news and stuff, I stopped getting it and I almost would miss it because I feel like you're right. Once you learn how to channel it into, a performance instead of fright and fear, it really is kind of a cool thing. It's almost like a superpower in a way.
It enervates you, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's true.
So, two-part question. So, we mentioned a little bit in your bio, but what genres are you currently specializing in, and are there any that you haven't done but would like to do?
Sure, yeah. So I do a lot of commercials. I do a lot of corporate narration, a lot of medical narration, a lot of e-learning. And right now, with the midterms coming up, I do a lot of political. So I really, really enjoy that. What I have not done that I'd like to do a little bit more of or get into is more like animation or promos or like in-show narration. But I feel like those are things you don't really, or at least I'm not seeing as often. And so I've been doing, getting some more animation like in video game auditions here lately. And that's been really cool. But I really feel like I need some training in that because I feel kind of blind there. But hats off to people who do that all the time because that is not easy. It's really cool.
I have it's the same two goals really, is some promo or in-show narration. I'd love to do animation as well. I think part of that might be the agency you're with, and I don't know for sure, but I know I don't get those from the agents I'm currently with. So it might need to be agents that specialize in those specific genres, and there are those out there. If you go to their website, sometimes they'll say, this is the specialties we work in, and maybe look out for those. But that's my goal anyway.
Yeah, I think that'd be awesome. And I took at Mavo, actually, Ryder was there, and he was talking about, some of the specific agencies, because he does so much promo and like sports promo and in-show narration. And I think he did say it's all kind of like agent-based. So yeah, definitely something to keep an eye out for.
Makes sense. So let's talk about accents for a second. You grew up in West Virginia, and talking to you casually, and maybe after a few cocktails at a happy hour, that accent comes out. But you
I don't know who you're talking about.
you sound completely different in most of your demos and when you're on the mic that I've seen you in person. Is that intentional? And do you ever need to break out the Appalachia accent for audiobooks or some sort of e-learning?
So it's really funny. I used to have a really, really bad West Virginia accent. Not that it's a bad thing. I love West Virginia. But when I was a little girl, it was wild. Like if you look at videos from me. And I remember when I was going to college, I went up to New York City for an internship, like, the year before I was going to graduate. And there was a final day at this big national news network where we got to sit on the desk and we were going to do like a practice anchor read. And everyone had told me all summer, they said, oh, she's really great. She knows how to write, but it's such a shame because she'll never be on air. And I was like, what do you mean? And they said, because your accent is so, so bad. And like they were like, it's so strong. And I remember the final day we had to like read copy from a teleprompter and sit at the news desk. And I remember all their mouths just dropped. And I was like, what are you doing? And they said, your accent. They were like, when you read, it's gone. Like it's gone. And they were like, how do you? And it was not something, it's not intentional, which is really strange. Like I don't think of it. But it must be something with reading and I don't like turn it on and off. So to the point when you said, do I ever have to break it out? When I have to, I can't, which is really weird. So I guess it's just like, I don't know. It's very, very strange.
Man, that was like no prompting, no dialect coaching, just a switch went on in your brain.
Yeah, and I think it was probably a lot of it was like listening to, like TV and radio and stuff all growing up. And like, you kind of listen to like Diane Sawyer, who was one of my favorites. So you listen to all these voices and you kind of try to emulate how they sound. And so maybe part of that was just like subconscious, but it's very strange. But no, I wish I had a switch that I could turn it on or off because I'll get like Southern auditions. And when I'm reading, I cannot do it at all.
I wonder how much of that is just how your ear hears things growing up. Similar to, when people are hearing impaired, if they are hearing impaired after they've learned how to speak, they usually have no trouble speaking. But if it happens before, then they have trouble. Or I'm thinking of some recording artists from Great Britain, or one that comes to mind immediately for me is Def Leppard. I don't know if you remember that hard rock band from the 80s. They were from Germany, and you'd have no hint of their accent when they're singing whatsoever. You'd never know they were German. And I wonder if it's because constantly hearing media in a certain accent just conditions you that way.
Well, it also uses different parts of your brain. Like if you ever watch the King's Speech, like they actually taught, like they would have him kind of speak in this sing-song like cadence to get rid of his stutter because he's using a different part of his brain.
Oh, right, yeah.
It's so wild, whatever it is. And you're right, I think there is something to that. But yeah, it's very strange.
Fascinating.
If I could finally learn how to harness it, that would be really cool. Yeah, to just be able to easily flip in and out. But I have not, and I don't know if I ever will.
I'm sure you will. It will help your burgeoning animation career.
That would be amazing, yes.
So you've attended several voiceover conferences. How has that affected your career, you think?
I have, and I really, really enjoy them. I think my favorite part of the conferences is the people. VO people are like the best people out there, in my opinion. And I've just met so many amazing friends. But what I've noticed about the conferences is they're all different. And I love them all, like all the ones I've been to. I haven't been to them all, but I think they're all unique in their own way. So I like, VO Atlanta is huge and massive, and there's so much going on, and it's like this crazy energy. But, some people could say it's also like a little overwhelming, it's just like so much to take in. And so, but I love it for that because I feel like I love kind of the chaos and everyone around. But then you have like One Voice in Dallas where it's a little bit smaller. So it's kind of like that, but just on a smaller scale. Then you have something like Mavo in DC, where it's, just kind of like a boutique and you get to know almost everyone there, which I think is amazing. So there's something to be said, I think, for all these different kinds of conferences. But I agree, like, I think across the board, it's all the people that I've met and have become my friends. That's what makes it so worthwhile for me.
Absolutely. Well, I'm looking forward to meeting you at VO Atlanta this week, so that should be fun.
Yes, I can't wait to meet you.
You too. But yeah, sorry, go ahead, Paul.
I was going to say, speaking of, you're actually a speaker this week at the conference. How did that come about, and what are you most looking forward to about that?
So I am doing a panel, actually. I'm like moderating a panel, and it's me and three of my good friends. It's Jen Henry, Kevin Kilpatrick, and Jenna Birmingham. And we are going to be talking about making the transition, actually, from broadcast to VO. And I actually was kind of surprised that they chose this as a panel because it is like a little bit niche. I'm not sure, exactly how many people are going to be there that are making that transition, but I think it's an interesting topic. And I've seen so many people at these conferences over the years who are in, radio, TV news, looking how and really, really want to know how to make that switch and make that jump over. And so we're going to talk about like some of the mistakes that we've made, some of the things that we wish we had not done, some of the things kind of that were hard for us, like I said at first, that polish and things like that. But we're going to also talk about, the things that are transferable and just hopefully give some people advice who are in the same situation, and maybe they'll learn from maybe some of our mistakes.
Very cool. And that's quite the panel with Jenna and Jen up there too. So I'm really looking forward to that.
Thank you so much. Yeah, they're, oh my gosh, some of the best people out there, I feel like.
All right, Kasey, if you ever listen to our podcast, Paul and me are a little bit of gear snobs. We love our gear, but we'd love to know what your home studio's like.
Yeah, so my home studio for 4 years was my closet, and my closet served me well. It was like I was in this little apartment complex, and I had my walk-in closet, and it was just all my clothes around, and it was kind of weird, like sitting in your closet for hours and hours and hours on end. But I feel like everybody starts somewhere, and I was thankful for that closet. And it did work well. I never had any complaints. But I moved pretty recently, like about a year and a half ago, to like the DC area. And so I wasn't sure the new place we were moving didn't have a good space like that. And so I ended up doing a studio bricks. So I have a studio bricks, 1 XXL. I figured if I was going to do it, I might as well just go big. Yeah. And so it was the first thing we moved into we live in a townhouse, and it's all the way up in the loft. So it's so all these flights of stairs, and it's 1,600 pounds. And so it was my husband, my dad. We had 3 other people help us, and it was, it was a beast. And my husband actually put up a camera facing the booth because he wants to see the moment that it falls through all the floors. No. We made sure we talked with an engineer, but I think he's still a little wary. But so yeah, I just sit in there all day, and I have a Sennheiser that 416, and then I just have it hasn't failed me yet, so I just still have my Focusrite from when I started, my little Scarlett 2i2, and that's it.
Amazing.
Yeah, that works. I had the same worry about the Studio Bricks. I had one for a while on the second floor of my house. It wasn't the XXL, it was the Studio Bricks 1, but it was still freaking heavy, and I worried every day that it was going to fall through into the living room. So now I'm working out of a Vocal Booth to Go booth that is still heavy, but not quite as heavy as Studio Bricks. I feel a little bit more confident. I can be safe in here, but I feel you on that.
Yeah, it's a little scary. I feel like I've made peace with it. Everybody said it was safe, but yeah, he said he just wants to have the moment on film, so he's not so sure still.
That's hilarious.
Worst comes to worst, it'll make a nice coffin. Who knows?
Yes, so true, so true.
Wow, not like Sean to go that.
You've been rolling off of me, Paul. What can I say?
I love it.
So on a
Casey's just so positive. I had to darken it somehow.
No, you got to darken it up a little bit, dirty it up, like they say, right?
Yeah.
So on a more positive note, hopefully, I figure Kasey is one who's going to have a positive outlook on this. But we ask everybody this question at the end of the interview: where do you see the future of VO? Are you terrified that we'll all be out of a job in a year due to AI and deepfakes, or do you think there's a strong future for the near term and long term?
I really think there is a strong future, and I was one of the people that was a little worried, and I'm sure everyone is right to be a little bit worried about what's going on with AI, but I do see so many people, even clients that I work with, who have gone to AI and are now coming back because people still want people. Do you know what I mean? There's just something about an artist that AI cannot replicate, and so I feel really positive about the future, and I feel like even if things maybe kind of do go more in that direction for a while, I think things will come back.
Good, awesome. Definitely positive outlook.
Yeah, I mean, you just got to be positive. It's better than, if something happens, we pivot, right? That's one of our special words that we had to use, Paul, in our Read Awards thing, pivot.
That's right.
Yeah, but I think that's so important. It's just you kind of never know what the future's going to bring, but I feel like for now, I feel like it's bright. And I trust people who are smarter than me about the issue, like J. Michael and people like that who think the future is bright. So I choose to believe them.
Well, here's hoping. So, Kasey, it's been such a pleasure having you on the podcast, but where can folks find you if they want to hire you as a voice talent?
Sure. Yeah, they can find me on my website. I'm just at KaseyHottVO.com. My last name's easier than my first. My last name is Hott. And people always ask me if it's like a stage name or a... But no, it's just like, it's a popular name in West Virginia. I think it's like German. And so, but it's easier. Yeah, KaseyHottVO.com. And I'm on like Voice 123 and Voices, or you can just find me anywhere. But I would love to work with anyone, anytime. So feel free to reach out.
By the way, your voice is a great sports name, I think. So I can see myself calling it in the middle of a hockey game, like, coming to the ice, coming in hot, it's Kasey Hott!
I love it. Now I feel like hyped up. I want to go play some sports now or something. Yeah.
Kasey, I want to thank you as well for being on the show. Like you mentioned about the conferences, you do meet great friends, and you're one of those friends to me. We met at Mabo and, again, reconnected at One Voice, and I'm so happy to get to know you a little bit more on the show.
I feel the exact same way. I'm so lucky to know you, Paul, and I really look forward to seeing you again soon.
Hey, it's Paul here with an endorsement of Bidalgo. I've been a member of Bidalgo for almost 10 years now. I remember putting in an application when I first started, getting a personal reply from Armin Hirschstetter, the founder, and being blown away by the personal service. Turns out that's just how he runs the business. Honestly, efficiently, and with great customer service. Bidalgo focuses on voice seekers rather than voice talents. Their award-winning online casting finds the perfect voice for every project. There's more than 12,000 professional voice actors, free casting, and it's insanely easy and fun to use. Thanks, Bidalgo, for being a sponsor of the VO Meter.
How many times has this happened to you? You're listening to the radio when this commercial comes on, not unlike this one, and this guy starts talking, not unlike myself.
Or maybe it's a woman that starts talking, not unlike myself, and you think to yourself, geez, I could do that.
Well, mister, well, missy, you just got one step closer to realizing your dream as a voiceover artist, because now there's Global Voice Acting Academy. All the tools and straight-from-the-hip, honest information you need to get on a fast track to doing this commercial yourself.
Well, not this one exactly.
Classes, private coaching, webinars, home studio setup, marketing and branding help, members-only benefits like workouts, rate and negotiation advice, practice scripts, and more. All without the kind of hype you're listening to right now. Go ahead, take our jobs from us. We dare you.
Speak for yourself, buddy. I like what I do.
And you will too when you're learning your craft at Global Voice Acting Academy. Find us at globalvoiceacademy.com.
Because you like to have fun.
All right. What a great interview. I remember Kasey saying she didn't think she had much to say, but that was great. And as we mentioned, we had such a great time hosting the Read Awards together. Kasey was fabulous, and I've heard only good things about both of us, so I appreciate her. Well, I wouldn't say volunteering because we did get paid, but I appreciate her saying yes when I asked her to co-host with me.
No, I heard you guys made a great pair, and Kasey, it was wonderful having you on the podcast. Just charming, insightful, like everything we look for in a guest. Thank you so much.
So that wraps up this episode of the VO Meter.
Measuring your voiceover progress.
Coming up, we're featuring another old friend of mine who happens to be a very well-established radio professional. Goes by the name of Priestley, and he's on 98 Rock here in Baltimore and used to be a Sirius XM DJ as well, so we'll hear from him and how his radio career took off. And then following that, we have Ted McAleer, who's an old friend of both of ours and the show, and he's going to tell us about his first foray into audiobooks and how it almost went horribly wrong.
Like it is wont to do sometimes. But really looking forward to those, to sharing those with you guys. Stay tuned for that. You'll hear us soon. Thanks for listening to this episode of the VO Meter. To follow along, visit us at www.vometer.com.
We'd also love to hear your comments or suggestions for the show. Or if you have a questionable gear purchase, tell us all about it on our Facebook page or on Twitter at the VO Meter.